It's time to see your problems from a different angle. Back in the fall of 2011, I started one of my favorite PhD classes, organizational theory. I learned something in that first evening of class that deeply informed the way I see leadership and the daily ins and outs of conflict and debate that we all have to navigate. And it all started with sitting on top of my desk. Welcome to the Kind Leadership Challenge, where I empower educational and library leaders like you to heal your organizations. I'm Sarah Clark, founder of the Kind Leadership Guild. My PhD in higher ed leadership, my experience coaching, consulting, and presenting to library leaders all over the world, and a career working in academic libraries from the front desk to the dean's office taught me that leaders don't have to be perfect to build a better world. And now I want to share those same lessons with you. So here's the deal. You give me the next 5 to 10 minutes of your day. In return, I'll share short stories and simple challenges you can implement this week to heal yourself and your school or library. Each challenge is designed to coach you in the confidence, skill, and trust you need to let go of a little control. By embarking on each week's challenge on your own, or with the community of over 1,000 kind leaders in our private Facebook community, you and your team will begin growing humanely, managing effectively, and partnering collaboratively. And your school or library will build a more informed and educated world along the way. Quick heads up. On May 30th, I'll be releasing the free Kind Leadership Guild guide, Mastering Challenging Conversations. It's a quick reference guide that will guide you step by step through planning, conducting, and moving forward from a challenging leadership conversation. This is a free gift to all email subscribers, so head on over to this episode's link in the show notes. Enter your email, and you'll get the guide as soon as it goes live, plus maybe a special bonus or two. So back to my first night of leadership theory. After discussing the concept of theoretical lenses and how different ones might be more or less useful for making sense of the particular situations we might encounter as higher ed leaders, our professor led us in an exercise that helped to bring this concept home. She divided the class into thirds, instructed some of us to sit or stand on top of our desks, some to lie on the ground, and the rest to stay in their chairs. After 60 seconds of looking around the room, we took our seats and wrote brief descriptions of what we had seen. The clock, a mark on the ceiling tile, a chair leg, whatever. As you can imagine, each of the three groups described a very different view. Now, being an overeducated librarian nerd, I've read plenty of social theory in my day. On a more basic level, I've long been a fan of the two sides to every story argument. And I even instinctively knew that the truth can often appear very different depending on how you look at it. That's why I spend so much time on this podcast talking about separating the facts of a situation versus the story we tell ourselves about it, and also emphasizing how important it is for leaders to listen to others' perspectives. However, for some reason, that concrete classroom exercise helped me understand that one doesn't need to latch on to one way of viewing the world for all time, but rather we can swap around an ever-evolving set of lenses through which we can view the world, knowing that different things will light up or become apparent depending on the lens you're using. Sort of like putting on a set of readers for close-up work, or those blue light glasses that help you stare at screens all day without getting a headache. Using a framework to view the world is not an either-or proposition, but rather a both-and. Using the frameworks, plural, that make sense for making sense out of a given situation. Because here's the blunt and occasionally painful truth. There's no one right answer to 90-95% of all leadership problems. That's why leaders are called leaders. We have to guide our organizations through all those messy shades of gray. Now, the good news is that there's often several good enough answers, one of which may well be the best for your situation. And the one that you decide to implement as a kind leader should be the one that is most effective and humane for your team and those your team serves. So here's this week's challenge. I want you to think about a problem you've been a bit stuck on. And I want you to make a list of some different perspectives or values you could use as lenses through which you can consider the situation in a different way. Now, if you're stumped, because this is a little bit of a mind-melty conversation for a 10-minute podcast, I'm actually going to link to an article in the show notes that describes the model of 6 lenses that I teach for making kind decisions in the Get Unstuck course. So, take a step back, try some different lenses, learn some new things, and then make your decision. And don't strive for perfect, just good enough. Come on over to the Facebook group and share how your challenge went in the episode thread, or email me if you'd prefer to be anonymous. Thanks for listening and for taking action to become a kinder leader. If you found this week's episode insightful, give it a like or review. Or even better, share this challenge with a colleague. Never doubt that day by day you're building a better world, even if you can't see it yet. So until next time, stay kind now.
Oh, one last thing. If you're ready to take on this week's challenge but not sure how to start, head over to kindleadershipchallenge.com/next to download the Next Steps checklist.